Welcome to the Resilient Retail Game Plan, a podcast for anyone wanting to start, grow or scale a profitable creative product business with me, Catherine Eardley. The Resilient Retail Game Plan is a podcast dedicated to one thing, breaking down the concepts and tools that I've gathered from 20 years in the retail industry and showing you how you can use them in your business. This is the real nuts and bolts of running a successful product business, broken down in an easy, accessible way. This is not a podcast about learning how to make your business look good. It's the tools and techniques that will make you and your business feel good. Confidently plan, launch and manage your products, and feel in control of your sales numbers and cash flow to help you build a resilient retail business. Welcome, it's episode number 59 of the Resilient Retail Game Plan. My name is Catherine Eardley and I'm your host, as well as the founder of the Resilient Retail Club, which is my membership group for product businesses. And you can find out more about the club at resilientretailclub.com. So the last few weeks, we have been talking about Christmas, specifically how you can prepare your small business for this busy time of the year. What I wanted to do today was talk in a little bit more detail about planning your Christmas. So we've talked about lots of things to think about in order to prepare, but today I want to talk about actually sitting down and making yourself a plan for the run up to Christmas. I find it's often useful to think about the entire Christmas period. So from whenever you launch your Christmas products, whether that's mid-October or early November, all the way up to Christmas. So looking at perhaps 8 to 10, maybe even a 12-week period, but looking at it all at the same time. If you try and plan things on a week-by-week basis, or on a week-to-week basis, I should say, then it gets much, much harder because you're trying to each week kind of come up with what your focus is, as opposed to pulling back, zooming out a bit, and looking at the entire period in one go. I'm a big fan of using something called a trading calendar. It's a format that all of the club members who are listening are going to be very familiar with. I include it in a lot of my courses. But the trading calendar is essentially just that. It's a look at your business week by week. It has space for you to plot in things like when your business is going to be at an event, or when it's your birthday, or when you're going to be on holiday. So it kind of helps you factor in not just business dates, but personal dates, as well as keeping an eye on those all-important holiday dates. So everything from last shipping date to Christmas to Hanukkah, Diwali, all of these different things that are happening at this time of year. It helps you keep an eye on them and plot them through, so that, again, you're able to look at things a little bit more strategically. So really the key thing, as I said, is if you have never really planned your Christmas before, maybe it's your first Christmas, or maybe previously in Christmases you felt like you have just been kind of hand to mouth, as it were, or you just let things happen instead of planning them out ahead of time. What I would suggest you do is you sit down. Again, if you're a club member, then go find the trading calendar under the tools section. If you just want to take a piece of paper and write the weeks down one side and start mapping it out that way, then that's absolutely fine too. Whatever's going to work for you. What you want to do is start filling out the really obvious things in your business. So, for example, if you have Halloween product, you're going to put Halloween on there. If you're starting it from late October, early November, you may put on Hanukkah, you may put on the key dates, whether or not you participate in Black Friday, which we'll talk about more. But you're going to want to start filling out the key dates so that you know certain weeks you're just going to be talking about a particular topic because that's what's happening that week. So when it's Halloween week, you're going to be talking about Halloween. When it's the last posting date before Christmas, that's what you're going to be talking about that week. You start filling it out like that, you can start seeing your messaging. But then there are going to be different weeks as well where you don't have things to talk about. The other thing to factor in as well is any product launches. So put in the dates when you're launching your products as well, so you can see what you're going to be talking about in that week. Because again, if you're launching a product, that's probably going to be your main focus for the week. You may be taking part in an event, whether it's online or offline. Put that in because again, that's going to be your focus. Once you've mapped that out, you'll start seeing that there are several weeks in this 8-week period where you already know what your messaging is going to be, which is great. I would really suggest, if at all possible, that you don't try and have more than one message per week, because it can start getting really noisy for your customer, and you will be much more effective promoting one thing at a time rather than trying to promote lots and lots of different things. So what you'll look at then, once you have these 8 to 10 weeks mapped out in front of you, you'll start seeing, okay, I can see that this week I know what I'm going to be talking about. This week I'm going to be talking about launching. This week I'm going to be talking about personalized orders cutoff date, for example, is another big one that a lot of businesses have to keep an eye on. So you've worked all of that out, but then you can start thinking about the weeks that you don't have any messaging. What do you want to talk about then? And it's often useful to think about how this works with customer buying patterns. So I also have a course called Get Set for Christmas in collaboration with Joanne Griffin from Creative Flow Collective. And we go through these dates in more detail. There's a handout for that course which goes through all of these. You can get that course by visiting the shop, resilientretailclub.com/shop. In general, though, just as a general overview, what I would suggest you think about is the customer and what they're focusing on at different times. Because even though it's only a short time period, it's only 8 to 10 weeks, the customer's mindset does shift with Christmas. And this is something that, especially working in bigger retailers, spent a lot of time digging into. But there are specific things that people do. First off, people who craft buy early, because if they're making their Christmas cards or they're making their gift tags or their gift wrap, they will be buying those types of materials earlier on because they're going to want to make them and to then use them later. So crafting is typically one of the first things to go. In November, often there's quite a big focus on Christmas parties. People are thinking about their outfits for Christmas parties. So if you're clothing or accessories, then really between sort of the beginning of November up to the end of November, that's really the peak time for people purchasing. Once you get past the end of November, people are no longer so much focusing on Christmas parties and it moves into different things. So for example, early November, people are focusing on trees because that's when most people get their tree and put it up, decorating the house. They are also thinking about things like Secret Santa, because a lot of offices or a lot of businesses will have their Christmas parties earlier on in the month of December. So if someone's got a Secret Santa to buy, then that's usually when they're thinking about it. Then as the month goes on, we shift into bigger gift buying as well. We also shift into things like what we call the carve the turkey outfit. So if somebody's going to be wearing something special on Christmas Day, special jewelry, special outfit, that's usually when they're thinking about it in December. Some Christmas buying, present buying happens really early. So for example, toys and children's clothes and presents are typically one of the first things that get purchased. So they happen earlier in the month of November as well. So depending on your business, it's really just to say that just think about it from your business perspective. And if you're not really sure, then think about it from your perspective. How do you normally run your Christmas? When do you normally buy things? When do you normally, for example, another one is cards. That shifts quite a lot. You go from having boxes of cards being purchased or packs of cards earlier on because people are writing them and sending them. And then later, as you move later in the month of December, then you shift to people buying, say, single cards for relatives because they're going to give them to them on Christmas Day. So again, every business will have shifts. So when you're looking at your messaging, when you're looking at this run up to Christmas, there's usually room for you to be talking about different things in your business. So it's definitely a really worthwhile exercise, thinking that you don't have to have the same message, even if you're not launching new products between the beginning of November and Christmas, then you can still change your messaging slightly to just try and capture what it is that your customer's going to be thinking about at that exact time. So you can plan all of that messaging out. You may also decide that when you look at your schedule and you think, actually, I've got quite a lot of gaps, I'm not really sure what I can talk about, this is when your promotions can come in. So a promotion, many of you may have heard me say this before, a promotion does not need to be a discount. A promotion could be lots of different things. The promotion simply means a new opportunity to have a conversation with your customer. Obviously, discounts can be very effective, but they have to be used very sparingly. And it could be, for example, that you decide that in that 8 to 10 week period, you're going to do one discount based offer, and that is it. But if you map out your whole time period like this, you can choose where that goes. It may be that you decide to do it as part of a big shopping event. So, for example, you're taking part in something like the Red Magazine shopping event, and you're going to offer a discount as part of that. Or maybe you're going to be doing a pop-up online event and you're going to have your one discount for the Christmas season is going to be in that event. Maybe you want to take part in Black Friday. It's certainly not something that most small businesses have to concern themselves with, but it is a very high traffic time of year. So you may decide that that's going to work for you as your business to offer some kind of offer incentive to your customer on that date. Or maybe you'll decide to go with Small Business Saturday, which is the following week, which is a really nice message and ties in really well, obviously, for small businesses. So there's lots of different opportunities for you to think about your promotions. So think about your promotions filling in the gaps for the weeks where you don't really see logically what you would talk to your customer about otherwise. But don't feel like every single promotion has to be discount based. There are all kinds of different things that you could offer. You could offer a giveaway. You could offer a competition. You could collaborate with another brand and offer a limited edition gift bundle, which combines the two of your products, which is just going to be for a certain time and will help you create a little bit of buzz around your business at this busy time of year. You could offer free gift wrapping. You could offer a handwritten gift tag with your wrapping or an upgrade to your typical wrapping for a limited time period. You could offer a special gift bundle, which is just your own products, but put together in a special way in a special packaging, which is only for a limited time. You could equally offer some kind of gift with purchase. So over £75, you'll get an item for free. There's lots of different things that you can do that don't fall into the kind of 20% off everything category. The other thing I'd suggest when it comes to promotions is that you think very carefully about making them work for you. Promotions look like they're for the customer, but they're really for you as the business owner. So if you want to leave a sort of promotion that you're going to decide a bit closer to the time, then you could always say, right, I'm going to have some kind of seasonal offer this week. And then when you get close to the time, you can have a look at your stocks and work out where you're sitting on the most stock and what you can promote from that. But again, if you're looking at this from a more zoomed out perspective of looking at it on week by week and looking at the entire time period as one kind of block, it will also avoid you having too many discounts. It will avoid you having too much messaging and making it busy and complicated and confusing for your customer. And it will also mean that you can just be more considered and more strategic instead of suddenly arriving in the week of Black Friday and thinking, oh my goodness, lots of other people are doing discounts. Maybe I should be doing a discount too. As I said, Black Friday is a really divisive issue for small businesses. Some people say, oh, small businesses shouldn't participate. And some people feel pressured to. I honestly think it's up to you as a business owner. I absolutely do not think that small businesses need to concern themselves with Black Friday if they don't want to. It's a very high traffic time, so there's likely to be more eyes on your business at this time almost than any other time of year. So you just have to decide what you want to do with that. I would also suggest that if you are not going to be doing Black Friday, I do suggest that you let the customers know, because I think that there is a risk that customers, even if they don't expect to get a discount from you, they're just going to wait and see whether or not you're going to be taking part. Because ultimately, the Tuesday before Black Friday, most customers are going to think to themselves, is it really worth me purchasing now? Or should I just wait till Friday and see if they've got a discount? So if you're not going to participate, it may well be worth your while communicating that to your customer in a positive way, or just let them know. Or let them know, let's say you're going to be doing a charitable donation on Black Friday instead of a money off offer, then that's something that you could make it really clear to your customers. So again, they know what to expect. If you ever want to see how that's done really well, then take a look at Dungaree brand Lucy and Yak. They do this so well. Black Friday is all about charitable donation to their partners in India, offering education to girls, and they really hammer that message home, talk about how many girls are being sent to school because of people's purchases, and people really, really love it and respond well to it. So it's definitely something worth considering or taking a look at if you want to do something like that either this year or in the future. So the other thing as well to think about, if you're looking at your plan and you're feeling like you're slightly light on messaging, consider if you want to do a product spotlight. So we've talked about hero products previously on the podcast. making sure that if you've got those hero products, that you are definitely spotlighting them, that you are talking about them. Maybe you dedicate at least a week to each of your hero products so that they've got room to breathe, so you can tell people why they're the perfect gift. You can really talk about them, wax lyrical, and make them part of your Christmas campaign, make them a real focus, make sure that you're talking about them a lot. Once you've sat down and planned this all out, what's next? Well, the key thing really is to pre-prepare as much as you possibly can. And that, again, is another big benefit of sitting down at this point and mapping it all out. Could you get an email ready to go for each week? If you know each week what your messaging is going to be, then you can actually pre-create a lot of your email marketing, get that already done, scheduled, ready to send at certain times, so that you're not, again, scrabbling around in the middle of everything else trying to think about sending out emails. You could get your social media graphics out and ready to go. If you've got great photography of your hero products, get those images up. And if you've got a scheduling tool that you use with Instagram, for example, get some of your feed posts pre-scheduled. Of course, you can't pre-prepare things like your stories, but there's no reason at all why you can't pre-prepare a lot of your feed posts and things like that, just to kind of take the pressure off, or to pre-schedule things for Facebook, for example, or pre-schedule pins if you use Tailwind in Pinterest. So there's lots of different things that you can do to get ready, because really what you want to do is clear the decks. You want to plan out your messaging. You want to know what that is. You want to pre-prepare as much as possible. And then when you get to it, when it's November and December, you just want to be heads down, focused on making this the absolute best time that it can be for you and your business, and that you can focus on nothing other than selling and delighting your customers. Those are really the key things that you want to be focusing on. I would absolutely love to hear how your Christmas planning is going. I hope you found this useful. I hope you found it thought-provoking. Why not come over to Instagram at Resilient Retail Club? I always love it when I see your screen shares, your shots of where you're listening to the podcast. So let me know if you tuned in, what you thought about it, what you're going to be doing to plan to get ready for Christmas. And of course, if you have a moment to rate and review the podcast, it absolutely means the world to me. I look at every single review that comes up in iTunes and I absolutely love it. So thank you so much to everyone who's taken that time. And of course, if you hit subscribe, you will be the first to hear about new episodes as they are released. Also, if you want more information about planning Christmas, we have a lot going on in the club. We have our Christmas planning session coming up. We also have special resources designed to get you through Christmas. So if you want to give it a go, then why not use the code 10podcast at resilientretailclub.com to get £10 off your first month. See you there. If you've enjoyed this week's episode, then I invite you to check out resilientretailclub.com. The Resilient Retail Club is the membership for anyone wanting to start, grow or scale a profitable product business. No more trawling Google trying to find the answers to your questions, or wading through general business advice that speaks mainly to service-based businesses. Whether you're still at the idea stage or you've been going for a while but want to get more focused and organised when it comes to your business, the Resilient Retail Club is the place for you. With a library of courses tailored to creative product businesses, several live sessions a month, and a supportive and active community, the Resilient Retail Club is the perfect membership to help you hit your goals faster. Check it out at resilientretailclub.com.